ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. Hukamnama Sahib today is on Ang 692 Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji by Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji. Satnam Sri Vaheguru Sahib Ji. Ram Simre Ram Simre Ram Simr Bhai. ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਬਿਨ ਬੂਢ ਤੇ ਅਧਿਕਾਈ. ਰਾਮ ਸਿਮਰੇ ਰਾਮ ਸਿਮਰੇ ਰਾਮ ਸਿਮਰੇ ਭਾਈ. ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਬਿਨ ਬੂਢ ਤੇ ਅਧਿਕਾਈ. ਰਹਾਉ ਬਨਤਾ ਸੁਤ ਦੇਹ ਗ੍ਰਹਿ ਸੰਪਤ ਸੁਖਦਾਈ. ਇਨ ਮੈਂ ਕਛ ਨਾਹੀ ਤੇਰੋ ਕਾਲ ਅਵਧ ਆਈ. ਅਜਾਮਲ ਗਜ ਗਨਕਾ ਪਤਿਤ ਕਰਮ ਕੀਨੇ. ਤਿਉ ਉੱਤਰ ਪਾਰ ਪਰੇ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਲੀਨੇ. ਸੂਕਰ ਕੂਕਰ ਜੋਨ ਭ੍ਰਮੇ ਤਉ ਲਾਜ ਨ ਆਈ. ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਛਾਡ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਕਾਹੇ ਬਿਖ ਖਾਈ. ਤਜ ਭਰਮ ਕਰਮ ਬਿਦ ਨਿਖੇਦ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਲੇਹੀ. ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਨ ਕਬੀਰ ਰਾਮ ਕਰ ਸਨੇਹੀ. ਤਜ ਭਰਮ ਕਰਮ ਬਿਦ ਨਿਖੇਦ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਲੇਹੀ. ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਨ ਕਬੀਰ ਰਾਮ ਕਰੇ ਸਨੇਹੀ. ਸਤਿਕਾਰਯੋਗ respected Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji speaks to us today in the Dhanaasarii Ragini. Respected Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji is talking today to us and saying, "Oh Bhai, oh my brothers, now is the time to meditate upon the Lord. We have this human life. We are blessed with the gift of this human life, and we must meditate upon Waheguru. We must give up all the doubts and all the things which are holding us back and meditate on Satnam Sri Vaheguru. Meditate upon the Lord." So Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji begins the Shabad, Ram Simre, Ram Simre, Ram Simre Bhai. Oh my brothers, oh siblings, oh fellow beings. Bhai, Bhai here encapsulating all of those meanings. Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji says 3 times. And in the Indian culture, it's said that there is an importance of the Tija Bachan, which means the 3rd time someone says something. If someone says something to you once, then if you respect them and love them, you should really do it. If they say something to you again, then you should endeavor to do it. But if someone says something to you 3 times, it means, in that Indian culture, it means that they're emphatically telling you that you must do this. And if you turn down what someone has said 3 times, it is said that there is no bond of love or understanding between you and that person. To turn down something which has been said 3 times by someone means that you have no respect for them. So Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji is giving us this tija bachan. 3 times Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji is telling us, Ram Simir, meditate upon Ram, upon that Lord who is pervading through all. Simir, meditate upon him. Remember him. Ram Simir, meditate upon him. Ram Simir, meditate upon the Lord. Bhai, oh my brothers, I'm telling you this 3 times. This is my 3rd bachan. This is my 3rd word to you. And what else does this mean? Ram Simir, with your mind, meditate upon the Lord. Bring the image of the Lord into your mind. Think of God at all times. Ram Simir. Remember, we've talked about in past kathas, man, bani, sareer. 3 ways, 3 spheres of the body that we have. The mind, the bani, the words that we speak, and the sareer, our body. Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji saying, Ram Simir, with your mind, think thoughts of the Lord. Think about Vaheguru. Think about the Guru. Think about accumulating virtues. Ram Simir, with your words, speak the words of the Guru. Speak the Gurbani. Speak the Guru's Shabad, the Guru's mantra, the Mool mantra. Ram Simir, with your body, serve the Guru, and in this way meditate upon the Guru. Serve humanity, and by serving humanity, serve the Guru. Ram Simir, Ram Simir, Ram Simir Pai, with your man, with your mind, with your bani, with your words, and with your sareer, with your body. O Pai, O brothers. Ram Naam Simran bin without Simran, meditation upon Ram Naam, the name of Ram, of Vaheguru. Budte Adikai. Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji says that Adikai means people who are great, people who have considered themselves great. Those who have considered themselves the greatest, even they have been Budte, even they have, Budte means to drown, even they have drowned in this ocean of the world. Why? Because they haven't meditated upon the name of Ram, the name of Vaheguru, the name of the Lord. Rahao, Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji says, pause and think about this. This is the crux. This is the center of the Shabad. Like the center of a flower from which all the fragrance casts out through the petals all round. And the petals all surround that center of the flower in the same way. This Rahao line is telling us that this is the crux of the Shabad. This is the center of the Shabad, and all fragrance of the meaning of the Shabad is going to disperse from this. Banita, partners. Satguru Sahib Ji says in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, in Sukhmani Sahib, Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, Jah Maat Pita Sut Meet Na Pai. Jah, where your Maat, your mother, Pita, where your father, Sut, your sons, meet your friends, Na Pai, and your brothers, in that place where they can't help you. Satguru Guru Arjan Sahib Ji says, Jahmad Pita Sut Meet Na Pai, Man, oh my mind, Uha Naam Tere Sang Sahai. In that place, the name of the Lord can save you. And in this line, Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji says, Banita, your spouse, your husband or your wife, Sut, your sons, your children, Deh, your body, Greh, your house, Sampat, all of the possessions which you've got together with your body, Sukhadai, which you believe give you, Dai means to give, Sukh means happiness, which you think will give you happiness. Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji is saying to us that we think that these things will give us happiness. But Bhagat Ji gives us the truth and the reality. In straight up words, in ma kach nahe tero, in ma, amongst this. In means amongst ma, within this. In ma means amongst this. Kach means something. Nahe tero. Anything, nahe tero, is not, it does not belong to tero, does not belong to you. None of this will help you in the end. At what point, Bhagat Sahib Ji says, Kal avad ai. When the avad means the time, Kal means death. When the time of death ai comes. Avad also means that which cannot be cut, which cannot be broken. Avad also means that which cannot be destroyed. Avad also means that which cannot be extended. Avad. So that point of death which cannot be extended, it cannot be destroyed, it cannot be broken. When that death comes, then all of these things which you've hung on to, which you've clung on to, they will all disappear in an instant. After this harsh reality, Bhakt Kabeer Sahib Ji says, Ajaamal, Gaj, Ganika, Patit Karm, Kine. Bhakt Sahib Ji gives us the example, 3 examples of people that Bhagt Ji says, Patit Karm Kine, who have done karm, who have committed actions. Kine means to commit, who have committed karm, actions which are patit, which are considered lowly, sinful, which have committed sinful actions. And Bhagt Ji gives 3 examples. The first example is of Ajaamal. Ajaamal was the son of a Hindu priest, a Brahmin, and he used to study with another Brahmin, and both his Brahmin teacher and his father, between his house, Ajaamal's house, and between the teacher's house, there were 2 ways to go. The short way, which was through a bazaar, through a marketplace, where there were dancing girls and prostitutes, and the long way. And both his father and his teacher both used to say to him, never ever go the short way, never ever go through that marketplace. And he never did. Until one day when he came of age and he had learnt all that he could, his teacher sent him to the king to perform katha, to perform sermons. And his teacher warned him and his father that in the court of the king many things go on. Perform your sermon, pick up your book and come home. And Ajaamal went to the king's court, but he didn't pick up his book after finishing the sermon. He sat there for a bit of time. And when he sat there, a dancing girl came and she danced in the court of the king. A prostitute came, she danced. And Ajaamal was infatuated by what he had seen by this dancing girl, and he followed her back into the marketplace. And when the king found out about this, Ajaamal was meant to be a highly respected priest. He was meant to be giving sermons. The king said he has been polluted by going into the marketplace. He has given up his virtue, and the king kicked him out. And following him, that dancing girl came as well. And they were kicked out into the jungles, and they had nothing to eat. They used to eat wild animals, catch wild animals and eat them. And Bhai Gurdas Ji mentions all this in his Vara. Patit Ajaamal paap kar jaye kalavatani de rahya. He went and stayed with a prostitute. Gurte bemak hoye keh. He gave up the words of his teacher, paap kamave durmat dahya, and went into the web of paap, into the web of sins. And what happened one day was that a saint came and stood outside the place where Ajaamal and the prostitute used to live, and he said, I need somewhere to stay, I need something to eat. All they had was chickpeas. So they gave him chickpeas to eat, and they gave that saint a place to stay at night. And he said to Ajaamal, how many sons have you got? And he said, 6. And the saint said, when the 7th son comes, name him Narayan, which means a name of the Lord. That's a name of God. And he called this 7th son Narayan. And when Ajaamal was going to die, he was calling out Narayan, 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 Narayan. At first he was calling out for his son, but whilst he was laying on his deathbed, his thoughts went straight to God. And when his thoughts went straight to God, in that last very minute, he was saved from going into the hells. He was saved from all of that by remembering God even for an instant, because he purified his mind within that instant and thought solely of Vaheguru, solely of God. Gaj, the elephant. This is a story of two brothers. There were two brothers, and this story begins with a sage, a wise man called Chandrak Muni. Chandrak Muni was sitting in the jungle, meditating upon the Lord, and one of the brothers came upon an elephant and trashed all of the jungle, trashed all of the plants that Chandrak Muni, the wise old sage, had been looking after. And Chandrak Muni said, "Why did you do this?" And the brother laughed at the sage. And Chandrak Muni said to him, "You will become an elephant in your next life." The next day, Chandrak Muni, the wise old sage, went to do Ishanan, went to go and have a bath in the river. And the second brother hid in the river and got hold of Chandrak Muni's ankle and pulled him down. And Chandrak Muni cried out, "There must be a crocodile, there must be a crocodile in the water." And when he saw it was just one of the brothers, he cursed him as well and said, "You will become a crocodile." A second story related to this is the two brothers, when their father died, the older brother took all of the money, all of the estate, everything, all of the riches, and gave nothing to the younger brother. And the younger brother said, "You have stolen from me, you will become an elephant." And the older brother laughed and said, "If I will become an elephant, you will become a crocodile." So Patit Karmakine, that older brother stole from his younger brother and upset a holy sage. But in their next lives, when the elephant went to that watering hole, went to that pond where the crocodile was living, when the elephant went into the water, the crocodile grabbed hold of him and started pulling him down into the water, trying to drown him. And in that moment, the elephant, that older brother, all he could do was grab hold with his trunk a flower. He grabbed hold of a flower and held it up towards the sky and cried out, "Oh God, please save me." And it said that God saved him at that point and cut him away from the crocodile with the Sudarshan Chakra. Sudarshan Chakra is a special type of weapon. And Ganika, the third example. Ganika was a prostitute. And Bhai Gurdas Ji tells us that Ganika papan hoye ke papan da gal har parota. That Ganika had done so much pap, she'd done so many sins that as if she had a necklace of sins around her neck. But one day, Mahapurakh Achanachak Ganika Vade Aaye Khalota. That one day, a great man, a great holy man came and stood outside her house. Durmat dekh dayal hoye. And he became merciful when he saw that she was being plunged into sin and tried to save her. And he gave her a parakeet and said, "Make this parakeet repeat the name of God every day. Make this parakeet say Ramanam." And every day she used to get up, have a bath in the early morning, the Amrit Vela, the early hours before the sunrise, and she used to tell the parakeet to say the name of God. And whilst she used to get the parakeet to say this every day, day in, day out, it affected her. She, through meditation, gave up all of her bad sins. She gave up her prostitution. She gave up all those things which were tying her down to sin, and she became purified. She became holy. And she was saved as well through the grace of that saint. So Bhakt Kabeer Sahib Ji is giving us the examples of how those great sinners were saved. Ajaamal, Gaj, the elephant, Ganika, Patit Karmakine, even though they committed karm, actions which were patit, which were lowly, which were sinful, teu uttar par pare, teu, they have been uttar par pare, they have crossed across this ocean of the world, Ram Naam Line, by meditating upon the Naam, the name of Vaheguru, the name of God. In all of those stories, it was the name of God which saved them. Whether it's the story of Ajaamal, whether it's the story of the elephant, or whether it's the story of Ganaka, it's because they remembered God and meditated upon God that they were saved. Sukar kukar jon prame tau laaj na ai. Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji says that you have wandered, talking to us, Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji says, you have wandered in the Jon, in the incarnation, in the life form of a Sukar. Sukar means a pig. And Gurbani tells us, when do we go into the life form of a pig? Antakal jo ladke simra, aisi chinta meh je mara. Bhagat Tarlochan tells us on Ang 526 that if we die remembering our children, not remembering the Lord, Sukar Jon Val Val Autara, that we are born again and again as a pig. And in Sukhmani Sahib, Guru Arjan Sahib Ji tells us, Jiska Antar Raj Apiman, that person who has ego within, ego of their power, so Narkapati Hovad Swan, that person is reincarnated as a dog. And Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji saying to us, Sukar, Kukar, Jon Prame, you have wandered around in these Jon, in these life forms as pigs and dogs. Tau Laj and I, didn't you have any Laj? Didn't you feel any shame? Ram Naam Shad Amrit, you have given up the Amrit, the immortal nectar of God's name, Ram Naam. Kahe Bik Khai, Kahe means why are you Khai, are you eating Bik poison? Why are you completely engulfed in material gain, whether it's through lying or cheating? Taj param karm bid nikhed. Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji says, Taj, give up your param, your doubts, and your karm, your meaningless actions of bid nikhed, of do this, don't do this, go this way, go that way. If I do this much, if I give this much charity, I'll get this much back. If I do this much sin, I'll be able to counter it with this much charitable actions. No, there is no selling and buying in the house of God. Ram Naam Lehi, simply meditate upon Ram Naam, the name of God. Lehi means to meditate upon. Gur Prasad, and with the Guru's grace. Jan Kabeer, Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji says, Ram Kar Sanehi. Through the Guru's grace, have Sanehi, have love for Ram, for that Vaheguru, who is graceful, who is merciful, and who saved Ajaamal, the elephant, Gaj, and Ganaka. His name can save us also, Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji saying. May Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji do kirpa upon all of us, that this Shabad implants itself within all of our hearts, and may we meditate upon Vaheguru Ji. Taj param karm bid nikhed, Ram Naam Lehi. Gur Prasad Jan Kabeer, Ram Kare Sanehi. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.